What's up, everyone? This is Gaming with Stan, and I'm going to tell you why I don't like Mizzah Tee. Now, everything that I'm going to tell you is true, and what I want you to try and understand, how would you feel if this happened to you? So, I'm going to just give you a quick breakdown and why I'm mad, and why I don't like the guy, and why I think he's a slimeball, and why he did me wrong, and he just doesn't give a shit. Now, it's not about gaming or, this, but it does kind of piss me off when he shows all the stuff I gave him, but what he did after, his movie got canceled and what I was trying to help him with. So just keep that in mind. Now, when he says, oh, he gave me a bunch of consoles and a bunch of sports games, and that's really about it. That's not true, okay? Now, I did give him sports games. Yeah, I did, but I gave him a lot of other really good stuff. I gave him a Sega Dreamcast, day one launch, 2 Sega Saturns, Sega Genesis, Sega CD, 32X, and a Atari Jaguar. And maybe I gave him some other stuff. I just can't remember. I do know I did give him basically my whole entire comic book collection and a really big collection of 80s cartoons on VHS. One of my hobbies was restoring old cartoons that I grew up as a kid. So, we would talk about movies and, video editing and stuff like that. And he calls me up one day. He goes, "Hey man, I'm gonna film a movie. I want you to be part of it." And I'm like, yeah, I'm in. Yeah, it was a martial arts movie. And long story short, I don't want to get too into detail, but the movie got canceled because somebody was sick, and in real life, and in the movie, there was a character that got sick, but where he was filming, he couldn't film there anymore because somebody was sick. But he didn't even know how to get out of that problem. Now, J. Michael Skowinski, which he liked to show in that live stream, Solar Eclipse, oh, it's a full motion video game. Actually, it's not. It's a shooter that has some full motion cutscenes. And the girl from that's the girl from Babylon 5. Now, the more writing that you have in your toolbox helps you get out of a lot of jams. And you didn't know how to get out of that jam when you couldn't film at that location anymore. Here's a simple solution: that there was a fire at that location, and you had to go someplace else. You could have wrote that right into the story, but you didn't want to do that. You just like, oh, nobody else, you wouldn't talk to anybody. Hey, you have any ideas? Nothing. Okay. I loaned you my Panasonic GH4, my G7. Okay. I upgraded the G4 to put Panasonic Vlog on it, so it makes it more into a cinema camera, and you can recover highlights. But you're like, oh, I like blown out highlights. So it looks like VHS filmmaking. Well, whatever. I loaned you my Olympus 12-40 2.8 Pro lens. I had a whole bunch of other lenses, and I was trying to do my other thing on the side, and you didn't want me on certain days. You're like, oh, you don't have to come. I saw the trailer, and there were some days I wish I was there, but you're not really even a good teacher of why you're filming over here, how the light's falling or anything. You don't explain anything. You just, do it, but you don't explain anything. But that's another story for another day. So anyway, his movie got canceled, and I went over his house to pick up my gear. Now, I was talking to him, and, he couldn't get this other type of work because his hard drive on his Mac broke because there was a water leak. Some guy was working in his house and put a nail in the pipe, and his MacBook got wet. And that's why, he even talked about this, I believe, why the intro to his show, he had to rip older YouTube videos to get the intro, because he no longer had the original anymore. So, that's that. And, and I'm saying, hey man, you can make a lot more money doing this type of work than what you were doing on this other side gig to make some extra money that he was saving to buy a powerful PC to do 3D graphics. I said, if I can get you this gig, will you do it? Because I'll talk to some people and I'll say, hey, you want to do it. And I was at his house. He goes, yeah, sure. I'll do that. And so I went to talk to somebody and I got him the gig. I put my foot forward, spoke good on his behalf, stuck my neck out for this guy. So then I call him. I say, hey, I got you the gig. I text him. He wouldn't reply to me. And that was kind of weird. I, emailed him, whatever. Just totally blows me off. So, but on the day I did pick up my stuff, he did ask me if can I borrow your light. And I said, yeah, sure, you can borrow the light. And 3 weeks go by and I'm asking for the light back. And he doesn't reply to me. Doesn't, text me back, email me back. And I'm asking for it. He's just blowing me off. So I go on this other Facebook account with another name. And I was like, hey, can I get that light back? He goes, who's this? Like, who do you think it is? You only borrowed one light. So he mails it back, but he doesn't even tell me he's mailing it back. All right. So that was kind of shitty what he did. And that was really uncool. And when you go and put your good foot forward on somebody else's behalf, trying to help somebody, and they blow you off, that's really shitty. But what's even more shitty is that you help this person on their production. You let this person use your cameras, your lenses, okay? You were a nice person, gave this person all these video games and consoles and stuff like that. And he's a liar when he says, oh, he only gave me sports games. That's not true. I gave you the full 2D American collection of fighting games from Capcom. And also the Japanese port of Street Fighter versus Capcom. Okay? I gave you that. I gave you Shenmue for Dreamcast. All right? So I gave you a lot of good stuff. I gave you 2 sound mixes. I gave you Shure headsets. I said, hey, you can do Let's Plays and stuff like that with these. I gave you a lot of good stuff. Instead of making me look like an asshole when I put my good foot forward for you to help get you a gig, you wouldn't reply to me. That made me look like an asshole after I helped you. Okay? Got you in the packs, gave you my pass, gave you my comic books, gave you my video game, a really big collection. And you even asked for the Xbox 360 stuff and the PS3. But you didn't push for it. You were like, hey, what are you going to do with that stuff? I said, I'm going to keep it. You said, okay. I mean, you didn't push for it. But yeah, you were asking for more. I gave you all that VHS stuff. And this isn't really about video games, but it does rub me kind of shitty when you make all these videos with all the stuff I gave you, but you wouldn't have the common courtesy to get back to me after I helped you with your movie production. Okay? Okay, and I try to help you get a really good gig so you can make more money. All right? That's not cool. That's really shitty. Okay? And you got bit for it. I don't care. Go get your lawyer or whatever. Get a cease and desist letter. For what? Some Mickey Mouse bullshit? If you treated me right, none of this would have happened. But what you did was really, really creepy. It was rotten what you did to me. And I didn't like it. And it's not really about video games at all. It's about you not getting back to me when I put my good foot forward for you, stuck my neck out for you, got you a gig, okay, and let you borrow my stuff for like 4 or 6 months. I think you started the movie in February and I think it ended in August or something. So maybe it was 7 months, 6 months, it was something like that. But I gave you a lot of stuff so you could pursue your vision, okay, which you don't appreciate. So I want that to sink into your head, but it's never going to sink into your head because what you did was fucking rotten to me, in which you don't care about. And when you say you were busy, oh, I didn't have time to get back to you. You were doing Friday night podcasts with Terminator Juice and all the other Nintendo fans, Nintendo buddies on YouTube. But you wouldn't get back to me after what I did for you? That was rotten. Okay? Now, I called you a couple of years later or whatever. You did pick up the phone. I talked to you for a little while. A couple of days later, I go, hey, I call you back. You never called me back. I say, hey, call me back. I said, wow, he's the same guy he was. He was kind of creepy again, like blowing me off again. You know, what was kind of also rotten when you did, you text me and say, hey, I want to work on that project that was your idea. You know what project I'm talking about. And then, lo and behold, when I try to get back in touch, hey, let's work on it. Let's go for it. You never hear from you ever again. But when you wanted to do your movie, I was there for you. Okay? When your movie fell and went kaput, and I said, hey man, there's an opportunity I can help you make a lot more money, I was there sticking my neck out for you, putting my good foot forward for you, and it was a go for you, but you didn't want to do it. That's fine. But you should have gotten back to me and said, hey man, I can't do it. And don't tell me no bullshit that you didn't get the phone message, you didn't get the text or the email, that bullshit. Because you know, and I know, that's bullshit. Because you replied to me on that bogus Facebook account. You replied to that one because you didn't know who it was. But remember one thing, I helped you, okay? I really tried to help you as a friend. And what you did to me, not getting back to me, when I stuck my neck out for you, put my good foot forward for you, was a really fucking shitty thing that you did. And that's a fact. Go get your lawyer. I don't give a shit what you do. Go get the law. I don't give a fuck. Send me a cease and desist letter. Oh, I'm scared. You're a creep. Goodbye. I'm out. I'm done with this. But now you fucking know.